And let's bring into our conversation Representative Shelley Pingree. She represents a district just on the edge of Lewiston. Congresswoman, I want to just start by asking, how are you?
Oh, it's such a sad night. Our hearts are broken for everybody who thought they were going out bowling, thought they were going out to dinner. We're just not used to these kinds of things in Maine. As you said, this is a very small city, very tightly knit, college town. We're just not used to this. Maine is a state where a lot of people own guns. This is about to be the beginning of the hunting season. We're used to responsible gun ownership. And this tragic incident and at this scale and magnitude is very upsetting.
Of course, the weapon that we see in his hand, in the person of interest's hand, is not a hunting rifle. That is an AR-15 style weapon. This happened earlier tonight, we think around 7, 8 o'clock. So this bowling alley, this bar and restaurant, they would have been open and crowded with patrons, wouldn't they?
Absolutely. And, you expect to go out for a casual evening. It's cornhole night, a fun game at the bar and grill. So people are just out enjoying themselves, having a quiet night. It's not a busy town. We're just not used to these kinds of things. And so I think this is very upsetting. Plus the fact that, as you have done such great reporting, this shooter is still at large. So people are asked to shelter in place. They're fearful of what could happen. They're worried about their kids. They're worried about their kids in college and the community. There's just a lot going on for people to be worried about. And as you said, this is an automatic rifle. This isn't what people used to go hunting in our state. This is the very kind of thing that can do an incredible amount of damage in a short period of time. This looks like a person who knows how to handle this weapon and knows how to do damage. Been to at least 2 locations, maybe a third, and could be at large at this point.
Have you heard directly from law enforcement in the last hour?
I've had a chance to talk to the governor, and we've been trying to keep abreast of all of the current reports and make sure we're on top of all the information. I think our law enforcement community is very engaged here. I think many of them have come from around the state to assist. As you've heard, there's FBI and others from Boston. I know that our hospitals are very busy dealing with the people who have been injured. It's really an all hands on deck experience right now.
That's what I was going to ask next. The nearby hospitals, do you have trauma centers that can handle this type of tragedy?
I mean, absolutely. Hospitals in Lewiston, hospitals in Portland are busy. I've heard some reports that some victims are being taken to Boston. We have good medical facilities in our state, but this is taxing our capacity.
Did you learn anything from speaking with the governor that we haven't yet reported tonight?
I think you've covered just about everything, and the unknowns are unknown to everybody. Where is this shooter? I know you guys were mentioning, Maine is a very rural state. This is a small city. There's a lot of woods in the city, but this person is from a rural community in my district near this city and, could have gone anywhere. So it's hard to find somebody when they're on the loose in Maine. It's not an easy proposition. What
can you tell us about that rural community where this person of interest is from? Help us understand.
I want to be clear. I don't know anything about the shooter. I just know the community that they mentioned. But it's a small Maine town. We're a very rural state. We have over 400 small communities, and all of them are tightly knit. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody generally knows what their neighbors are up to and where they're going at any point in time, because you drive down a road and know where people are. So it's very unusual to have something like this happen in our state, and particularly for someone to be in Lewiston, to be in these particular places. As you've heard people say, no one knows what the possible motive could be or any of the issues that the shooter themselves has. All I can say is this is the kind of weapon that shouldn't be so readily available and shouldn't be doing so much damage to so many people on this evening.
To that last point you just made, there were 29 homicides total in your state last year, and at least 22 people were killed tonight. What kind of shock does that put you, your community, your constituents in?
Well, we pride ourselves at being a very safe state. And as you say, we have very few homicides annually in our state. And unfortunately, most of them are people who are known to each other, domestic violence, the kind of tragedies that happen within communities where people know each other. So to have this kind of a mass shooting, very unusual for a place like ours, is the kind of fear that people aren't used to dealing with. Yeah, it's just a very uncommon event for us. And unfortunately, it's the kind of event that you're hearing more and more about across the country. I mean, I don't like to think about this, but every state is vulnerable to it. And this is just a reminder that a safe state like ours could be in the same position. I've heard from so many of my colleagues tonight. We're still in Washington. And, each and every one of them is saying, we wish we could do more. How do we keep guns out of the hands of people who could do this level of damage? Why are there automatic weapons so readily available, or semi-automatic weapons? It's just hard when it hits your home state.
With about 80 people that we know of either injured or killed tonight, how likely is it that most people in Lewiston will either know someone or be 1 degree of separation away from someone who is directly involved in this attack?
Oh, without a question, everybody will know somebody. Everybody will know somebody. 80 people is a big group for anything to happen in our state. Like, that's just an enormous number of people. And to have this many injured at one place at one time, people who were just out having dinner together, people who were just out enjoying an evening of bowling, that's going to be people who are known to everyone.
People just went out to have a beer, have a bite, and maybe go bowling. Congresswoman, I am so very sorry to you. I'm sorry to your community. Thank you for joining us tonight. Please, if you get any updates, we are waiting for the law enforcement press conference. If you learn anything, please join us again tonight.
Thank you very much. We appreciate your support.